The reason why people suffer with mental health is because of resistance. What you have to understand is that in every present moment, a new reality is being birthed, which means the old reality, the old timeline must crumble. It must be dissolved. The illusions of the past, the distortions of the past must dissolve in every present moment to clear space for a brand new version of you and a brand new reality to be birthed. That is what is happening in every single present moment. Death and rebirth. That is why it is world without end. Death is not the end. It is a continuous cycle of death and rebirth that we can embrace and align with world without end rather than being bound by the limitations of death. Okay, but people suffer with their mental health because they resist the collapse of the old timeline. Okay, the old timeline, the old version of yourself needs to collapse, needs to die, not physically, but metaphorically, an ego death. Okay, you need to shed, like the snake, that version of yourself that is no longer serving you. And in the present moment, give birth to a brand new version of yourself that is more aligned with the divine, with your higher self, with your God self. So the reason why people suffer with mental health is because they resist the collapse of the old timeline, okay? And it's because people create these old timelines from the perspective of their ego, their lower self, and they try and force everything and try and create things from the lower mind to prove themselves worthy to others, to God, to whoever, right? And we end up creating these timelines that are false, that are purely egoic, that are not from a foundation of self-love, okay? They're actually created from betrayal. We betray ourselves. We go and work a job that we don't like for money to impress people that we don't like. It's hilarious. But if you're open to, the death and rebirth, the continuous cycle of death and rebirth, then you can become limitless and infinite, and you understand that your soul lives forever, is everlasting and eternal and immortal. And you unlock the kingdom of heaven within you. And you can start to project that out into your reality through the as above, so below principle, because the universe is just a mirror, a multi-dimensional, multi-frequential hall of mirrors designed for self-mastery, in the words of R.J. Spina. So, the only reason why people suffer with their mental health is because they resist the collapse of their old timeline. People become attached to their material possessions, to their toxic relationships, okay? They don't want to let them go because people get comfortable in those relationships with the possessions that they own, maybe your home, maybe your car, maybe the place where you live, whatever. Your children, we become very attached to our children. And this creates suffering. But what you have to understand is that you can't lose anything. Nothing is lost. As Rumi said, nothing is lost. Everything comes back in another form. And it actually comes back in an upgraded form. Everything that you lose, everything that gets taken from you by the Judases that show up as you ascend your frequency, right, comes back to you in another form. So long as you are open to receiving that, so long as you remember yourself, your true self, the divine, as long as you know who you really are, and there's no limitations or matrix programming or distortion or interference that gets in the way of that energy flowing to you, the Supreme Consciousness is flowing to you in every present moment from every single angle, and it always has been, and it always will be. So if you don't want to suffer, mental health is just mental health or mental illness, this concept of mental illness is just something that someone made up one day to make money from, to trick people into believing that they need therapy or drugs or like medication or whatever, like that they're broken, right? It's someone made up this concept of mental illness one day to trick people into believing that they were broken. No one has ever been broken in the history of humanity, in this entire creation. There has never been a single broken human being. God, who creates everything, which is you, your higher self is God. Every creation that comes from the divine is a brilliant, perfect creation, perfect, whole and complete in every present moment. God and the oversoul that you come from, which creates everything in your reality, which is what you really are. Your true self is the oversoul. this magnificent creator being, this infinite, limitless creator being, which is pure energy, pure consciousness, which is really who you are, your true self. You're an expression, your character is a fractal of that oversoul, of God, of the divine. It doesn't make mistakes. It has never made a single mistake in its entire creation. This entire creation and everything in it is perfect beyond perfect. So, like, everything is so divinely orchestrated. You can't understand that with your limited ego mind. When you're trapped in your ego, in your character, and zoomed in to your egoic perspective, you can't understand how brilliant and perfect and masterful this creation is. But what you have to understand is that all mental illness, just throw it in the bin. Mental illness does not even exist. It's a concept born of the unawakened mind. And it's something that someone, some being, like some devilish being, created one day to trick people into like siphoning energy and stealing money from people. Like the psychiatrists, the psychologists, even counselors, doctors. Okay, it's all a con job. It doesn't exist. People convince you that you have mental illness and that you're broken, but I'm telling you absolutely 1,000,000% that you are not. You have never been broken. You never will be broken. You cannot be broken. What you are is infinite and limitless and eternal and everlasting and can never be broken and never will be broken. You do not have trauma. You do not even have a past. You are here only in this present moment right now, where everything is perfect and divine and working in your favor, and everything is actually synchronized to you because you are the God source creator of your universe. Everyone is living in their own universe within God's multiverse. You are nested within God's multiverse as a divine fractal of the all, the source, the oversoul, your higher self. It's so brilliant. So throw mental illness in the bin, guys. Like, you never had mental illness. Someone tricked you one day into believing that. A predator, a parasitic entity, which you created, by the way. So you could create the experience of overcoming mental illness. And that's what we're all doing right now. On a global scale, we are transcending mental illness and just, it's being just recycled into the new earth, into the 5D, the age of Aquarius. We're all doing this together. So let's just put all of our intention behind it. Let's remember, let's set a powerful intention to just fucking remember our true selves, our divine nature, which is love, which is Christ consciousness, Mary Magdalene consciousness. Okay, I don't care what religion you follow. I don't care if you're an atheist. You're divine, my friend. You're divine, and you've never been broken, and you never will. What you are, pure source energy, pure awareness. Nothing can touch that. It's eternal and everlasting and goes on forever. Nothing can touch your true self. Nothing can break you. You've never been broken. You're perfect, whole, and complete in this moment, now, always, and forever. It's as simple as that. Throw mental illness in the bin. If anyone's trying to convince you that you have mental illness, if anyone's projecting mental illness onto you, it's because they have mental illness within themselves and they aren't ready to sit with that disturbing energy. So they try and project it onto others. That's how it works. People try and give away their illness. People try and pass it off to others. It's kind of like a human nature thing. It's the unawakened mind. People who aren't ready to face their own inner demons will try and project demons onto others. And that's just how it goes. It's not a personal thing. It's just like the unawakened mind. So don't take it personally if people are trying to project mental illness onto you. It doesn't actually matter. If you know who you are, you're protected. Okay, the protection comes from the knowing, the tangible knowing of who you are as the divine and who you walk with, your ancestors, your spirit power animals, the ascended masters, the archangels, the elemental spirits, your cosmic ancestors, the plant spirits, the tree spirits, the fungi spirits, the insect spirits. Okay, everything. Like, you have an army of billions, like, supporting you in every present moment, energetically, spiritually, metaphysically. You never walk alone, my friend. It's impossible for you to be alone, to feel lonely. Okay, like, loneliness is an illusion as well. Everything can be transcended. Everything's mental. It's a mental universe. Everything's a mental construct. You can transcend all limitations, my friend, especially mental illness. Okay. Namaste. I hope you have a beautiful day. I'll see you in the next video.